After 29 years, Rancho Palos Verdes Deputy City Manager Carolyn Petru has announced her retirement. I had a chance to sit down with Petru, who reflects on her many years of service here in Rancho Palos Verdes.
What initially brought you to this city?
Well, it actually was a small advertisement in the LA Times that brought me to this city. I was working for the city of Alhambra, my first planning job, and back in those days, that's what you did to look for jobs. You go into the want ads in the LA Times, tiny little box ad, said assistant planner, city of Rancho Palos Verdes, and I thought, hey, that's my hometown. You know, how funny would that be if I ended up getting a job there? So I submitted my application, and that's where I landed.
You started as a planner in the planning department.
Mm-hmm.
How many different positions have you held here?
Ooh, I haven't counted them up, but it's probably at least 8 or 9 different titles. Yeah, because I moved through all the positions in the planning department, assistant associate, senior, planning administrator, and then I was the director, so that's 5. And then when I moved over to the city manager's office in 1999, of course I've been assistant city manager and then deputy city manager, same job, just different title. But then I've been the acting city clerk, the acting director of recreation and parks, and then of course most recently acting city manager. So I guess that's 4 more titles, so that's 9.
Wow. What was the biggest challenge for you when you changed from one to another?
The biggest challenge really was just the broader view. I think it was very fortunate for me coming from planning, because planning touches so much of what goes on. The physical built environment in this community is so much about what it's about and the reason that we became a city. So that was a really good base for me. But there was just a lot of areas that I had no experience in at all. I mean, quite honestly, having a broader appreciation for the city's budget, and where the majority of our money gets spent. The whole public safety side of things I really had only dealt with in a very limited way with development projects, but I was assigned to become the liaison to the Sheriff's Department, and that's just a whole other world in terms of law enforcement and how that service is delivered to the community, along with fire safety services. Emergency preparedness was an area I'd never been involved in before. So it was just broadening out that perspective of all the services that the city provides, not just planning.
Do you have any memories that come to mind that you think of when you think of being here at the city?
Oh gosh, there's so many, but I have to say the one that just sprung into my mind just when you asked me that question was, well, 2 things, and they're both related to what's now the Trump National Golf Course. The first memory was when my prior director, the one I mentioned before, Bob Bernard, when he left, he was to go work for the city of Malibu. He was an avid golfer and had been working for a number of years on getting that golf course built. And actually, when he left, that project got passed to me. The last thing we did is we went out with his golf clubs and we stood where Founders Park is now, and I had never swung a golf club in my life, and we hit golf balls off the end of that point and imagined that someday there's going to be a golf course there. And that was the most fun, and I'm a terrible, terrible golfer. I've never swung a club since, so, but that was a really fun time. And then later in 1999, when the landslide happened and it took out the 18th fairway, that was another really poignant memory. I was with Les Evans, the city manager at the time, and we got the news that it had failed, and we drove there immediately, and it had only happened less than an hour before. And I just remember standing at the edge of this huge crevasse and looking down into all this destruction, and how surreal that was, with like a sand trap perfectly split in half from the part that still remained up top and the piece that was down at the bottom, and Caterpillar tractor trailers looking like Tonka toys down there. So that was devastating. And then to compare that to it when it was raw land, to that tragedy, and to look at it now when it's been repaired.
Why did you decide now was the time to venture into something else?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the length of time I've been with the city. It's been a full career. One of the things my father always told me is, retire at the earliest opportunity, do it, and do something completely different from what you did before. And I find myself in that position where I can take his advice, and I want to do that. When you work full time, you don't have a lot of opportunity to chase your passions or even to find out what they are. And I kind of feel like, you know, it's graduation day and I get to go out in the real world and just poke around and see what's out there.
We all thank Carolyn for her leadership and many years of service and wish her well in her future endeavors. And speaking of people who make a difference, many local residents came out for Volunteer Day. This is a great activity that gives people in our community the opportunity to give back. The event is hosted by the City of Rancho Palos Verdes and took place at Abalone Shoreline Park. The event included weed and invasive plant removal as well as trail and park beautification. Here's more from the event.
How we started was to get everyone registered, and then we asked any age to come to this. We're finishing up on what we started in January.
I'm a licensed landscape contractor, and I've been landscaping and gardening for 20 years, residentially. So this is my opportunity to work with the general public. And the most important thing in maintaining any garden is knowing what are the weeds and what are the plants you want to keep. So the plants you don't want to have and the plants you want to have. So here we want to have all California natives. So if we get rid of the weeds, they won't choke out the natives, basically.
I think it's a very good turnout. We've got a lot of them that are working really hard, sweating, and that's what you like to see, and above all, getting things done. You know, it's just a good way of spending part of the day.
It's a good way to get out of the house, and I like to do a lot more of the physical activities, so I get to, keep in shape on the weekends.
To preserve nature, I go snorkeling a lot, and when I'm out there, I just pick up whatever, just if there's anything out there that needs to be picked up, I pick it up.
This is a really good place to volunteer because it still kind of needs work before it can be like a full park. That's a good thing.
It's definitely important because it's always nice to give back to the community and prove like where we're living. Like this is our place, and also we share it with others. So it is like very important to come and like improve. Also, staying in the environment. It's a good experience as well as like you get to like say like, oh, I helped this place become better, and that's just a great feeling to have.
Our next scheduled event will be September 19th, 2015, will be our California Coastal Cleanup, which is a nationwide, actually worldwide, I think it's a worldwide event in September. And that's a large event where we get lots of, the docents and the Land Conservancy run that one. And then the City of Rancho Palos Verdes volunteer program will do one December 5th, the first weekend in December, 9 to 12, right here again.
Every second Saturday of the month, the Point Vicente Lighthouse opens its doors to free tours. During these open houses, the facility is guarded and hosted by one of the most respected youth programs in the area, the United States Navy Sea Cadets. Recently, Mark J. Dottie visited the lighthouse and tells us more.
Today we're at the Point Vicente Lighthouse, which is just down the road from our building, and where we look out on our window every second Saturday of the month where the U.S. Navy Sea Cadet Corps trains. And today we're going to find out what they're all about.
This program was started in 1958. In 1962 it was chartered by Congress, and there are two groups. We have the younger group, which is a Navy League, 11 to 13, and the older group are the 14 to 17.
And what did they learn going through this program?
Here at Haven Division, we drill in 3 different locations. We're mainly out of the Coast Guard Station in San Pedro. The second weekend, we're here at the Lighthouse here at Palos Verdes. And we trained aboard the SS Lane Victory in San Pedro. They learn about discipline, military drills, protocol, time management, anything that they need to be good, responsible adults, or to help them out in their future careers. Although we are not a recruiting program, but we do give cadets mentorship. Should they decide to join the military at a later time, we provide that training for them. But we would like for them to either join the military or go to college as some of the options after high school. But again, we provide whatever they need so that they can make the right choices at a later age.
I've noticed you kind of watching the cadets do what they do. Why is that?
Well, I support the program. My little brother came through this program before. He went into the Navy Reserve, and my mother, Instructor Windsor, she works with the kids, you know. So I do what I can on my spare time to come help these guys out. I was active duty for about 7 years. I came in 2008 right after high school. So.
And now you're still involved.
Right. I got out and I joined the Army Reserve, so now I'm a nurse at the Reserve Center in Bell. These guys, they get experience and, you know, with customs and courtesies through the military and through the Navy, so they would come in at a higher rank if they wanted to go active duty. You know, instead of coming in as the bottom of the totem pole as an E1, they can come in as an E2 or an E3.
What does the E2 status mean?
E2 means that you're freshly new, you're off boot camp, but you still have a lot to learn.
And Robert, what do you think? You've been in this program for how long, and what kind of growth have you seen with yourself?
I've been in for about a year, and I've seen a lot of growth in myself and just doing what I'm supposed to do, more organized, and generally just able to do a lot more.
Well, I'm one of the instructors here, and what I've noticed is I've seen so much growth in a year. I was in the Navy myself, and I've seen so many of these kids go from kids to young adults. They're learning leadership. They train hard. They study hard. It helps them with their homework.
The big thing that we always really learn is marching. That's what top priority, marching. We learn all the basic steps, all the movements. Next would be the rifle team. They're holding some rifles over there.
Before you were involved in this program, how was your maturity and your behavior before the program?
I was kind of disrespectful, not obeying my parents. Well, now I've been respectful. I have followed my parents. I've been more studying in my stuff. I'm more educated.
What do you most enjoy about this program?
I mostly enjoy is the flagship, which is every year, well, since the Navy Leaguers, we face these other divisions. We go to Camp Pendleton, which is Marine Corps base. We do like the knot tying, semaphore, flags, many other stuff. We compete, and then we also march there. We do the rifles, spin them, do line heaving.
Here at the lighthouse, mainly we are the security and the roving patrol for the lighthouse. We welcome the guests right at the front door, and we just provide security. Any help that the public may need, we give them guidance. Right now, the lighthouse is in fact closed due to construction, but anytime during the year, the lighthouse will be open. So people actually go up to the top of the lighthouse to take a view, look at the view. They go into the museum behind us, and on occasion over at the helicopter pad, we do have the helicopter that comes in. But again, we just mainly on here we provide security and for the security of the lighthouse.
The Peninsula Seniors have a new executive director. Since Margie Beer-Schmidt has taken over, she's been very busy keeping our very busy senior community active. Here's more.
What was the most challenging thing for you being the director so far?
So far, the hardest part is just learning everything that's going on and trying to figure out which way is up with the ongoing projects. But there are a lot of seniors in the community, and a lot of them are not members. So that's an important thing to me, is to increase membership. Getting the name out in the community, being more involved in the community, and I'm working on reestablishing relationships in the community.
When you talk to seniors, what kind of things do they are they looking for, or needs that they have?
I think my members, the ones that tell me when we talk about it, they want to have fun. They want to do things that are fun. So I say, what's fun for you? And they tell me, and we do those things. That's, I think, how we're going to roll. Yeah. And that we want to be younger, and we want to do younger things. So maybe it's a changing paradigm. Some of the benefits to membership. We just are starting the new semester with Marymount. Marymount kindly and generously offers our members to audit a class for free. And they have, for this semester, our members had a choice of 62 or so classes to audit for free. And that's That's just one thing. We have a monthly coffee and cars, but you don't have to be a member to participate in that. And we have a weekly Hess Park lecture series, and you also don't have to be a member for that. Okay. But we do have exercise classes, and we also have mahjong groups and ping pong. So many people have more. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of how many people told me they joined for ping pong and they love the ping pong group.
Again, it sounds like it's more young-minded stuff that people want to do. Like you said, they want to have fun.
Yeah. In the near term, the next big thing that I'm working on is we're putting a trip together to the LA Opera. Nice. And that'll be in a few weeks. And then a few weeks after that, we're having our annual fashion show. And that will be at the Doubletree in Torrance at the end of October. It's Friday, October 23rd. Anybody is welcome to come into the office. And we're on Hawthorne Boulevard across from Rancho Palos Verdes City Hall. Okay. Also, you're welcome to call anytime. And we're open from 10 to 4, basically. Okay. And also, we have a website. It's pvseniors.org.
And the Peninsula Seniors are getting ready for their annual fundraiser. On Friday, October 23rd, the seniors will hold a fashion show and luncheon at the Doubletree Hotel in Torrance. We got a sneak peek of some of the fashions that will be seen at the event. Here's more.
It's the only fundraiser Peninsula Seniors has for the entire year, so it's a very important event for us. About 120 people attended last year, and we're hoping it'll be even larger this year. It's a very fun event. And Renko is going to be loaning us her clothes for the fashion show. They're very beautiful. I know this because I saw them all last year. And there is going to be another vendor named Dina, who is also going to be showing her garments. And we are also going to have jewelry. I understand we're going to have new jewelry, but we're also going to have previously loved jewelry. One of the most fun portions of last year's sale was everybody donated some jewelry, lots of costume jewelry. There was some fine jewelry. They donated the jewelry, and it was all resold. The money's 100% profit for the Peninsula Seniors, and you've never seen women have such a good time in your entire life.
Kind of like what good on person's feature. Like if she is so good in neckline, I try to focus on. But the general speaking wise, I kind of like to create what I like, what I would be wearing, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Now your designs are going to be seen in the fashion show that's going to support the Peninsula Seniors. How do you sort of decide what you're going to, the models will wear?
What looks good on certain customers, and that's how I kind of see it. And like these two tops we just got, those are by Zandra Rose. Zandra Rose designs are different, unique, so it's not for everybody. Right. And but color is so beautiful, prints are so different, so that's why I choose. Hopefully somebody can wear and buy it. But so Zandra's case is, I just fell in love with her color, and her blue is so blue, pink is so pink, and prints are so different. That's how I choose her designs.
Now, will you be modeling in the fashion show?
No, I will be showing, helping models in a bag. Yeah.
Is it fun to dress models, especially when it's your thing?
Oh, I do enjoy because particularly models who can show my garments well, I really like that. So I really like models to show off well with my garments.
These are beautiful clothes. They're not clothes that you're going to see everywhere. They're special, they're unique. And all the ladies were very, very receptive, and that's why Renko's coming back again this year.
In addition to the fashion show, there will also be a silent auction. Tell us about that.
There's going to be a silent auction, and there's also going to be raffle prizes available. I know thus far that there has been a condo in Palm Springs donated for a 1-week stay. There's also going to be a really unique item. There is going to be a trip with a fireman on the fireboat, and the fireman will also make you dinner. So that's also highly anticipated every year by some of the ladies. And
I wonder why.
I wonder why too. I can't fathom why that would be. But anyway, so those are a couple of the higher ticket items that we have at the moment. And of course, we're looking for more. We are on the hunt for any type of vacation or jewelry items, handbags, whatever is beautiful, fun, exciting. Those are the kind of items that everybody's interested in.
And if you would like to attend the Luncheon and Fashion Show, you can call the PV Seniors at 310-377-3003. They'll have all of the ticket info. And if you're looking for a new restaurant in town that will be sure to please, then I have the place for you. Corazon Mexican Kitchen is more than your standard Mexican eatery. It's Mexican food with a flair, and the flavors are fantastic. I sat down with the owner, Fernando Romero, who tells us more.
Well, my cuisine is different because, when they ask me, is it authentic? I say, well, to me, authentic is my mother's kitchen.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. But, growing up in the industry, I established my own way of cooking and different stuff. But the foundation is Mexican, and where we're from, Michoacan. So we slow roast the carnitas. So that's, from our roots. The chipotle marinade that we do, that's actually different.
Okay.
And actually, it was also inspired by my chef Kenneth.
Okay.
So when he came in on board, I had my recipes already, and so he came in and enhanced it with that.
Okay, so now did your mom help you with your recipe, your box of recipes, right?
Box of recipes, that's a core foundation of the menu.
Okay.
And then, with Kenneth and myself, we saw what we had in front, and we added, little flares here and there, make it a little bit more modern. For example, the traditional way of doing a Mexican dish is you put the rice and beans on, and it to me is like, well, you got to enjoy the beans and rice differently.
Okay.
So that's why we separate those on those cups, and it just gives it a freshness. I mean, to me, the pico de gallo gives a freshness and another taste profile when you get when it's not mixed together. In Spanish, we call it sazon.
Okay.
So it's having that seasoning, and my mom just has it. I'll be like, Mom, what did you put in there? She goes, grab like this. I go, but my hand is bigger, Mom. And she's like, no, but do it here. And I just kind of just watching her cook, it really I picked up a lot of things from her.
I know in addition to amazing food, you also have live entertainment on the weekends. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we have our live entertainment. It's a Latin jazz band that plays on Fridays and Saturdays from 7 to 9. And it's just great. It's a great ambiance, low lighting, candles. You have these great plates. And then we have our signature cocktails too. So the backdrop of our restaurant is our margaritas, handshaking margaritas. And it's just fun. And that's really what I wanted to create. And, so far the Chamber of Commerce has been nothing but great to me and inviting and welcoming along with all the folks here in the town. I mean, we have regulars already and we've only been open for a month.
Are you hungry every day when you come to work?
I am. Yes, every day.
I am as well. So let's try some of this amazing food and then you can tell us again exactly what it is. Now this one looks very special. You talked about this earlier. Okay.
This
all right.
is the El Tamal.
El Tamal. Okay.
Yeah, so
right.
Sweet corn on the bottom.
Oh my gosh.
Shredded chicken with Oaxaca and jack cheese melted.
So you can hold that.
Absolutely, yeah. You tell me how that tastes.
So good. I don't think I've ever tasted anything like this before.
And that's the reaction we get every single time.
You could have this for like 2 meals. Okay, and then this is?
Those are las carnitas.
So you can make tacos with them.
You can make tacos with those, and as a matter of fact, we have some handmade tortillas here.
Gosh, okay. Okay, so let me just try one. And now, what's the process to make a tortilla?
Well, the process with the tortilla, it's maseca and water, and you got to be able to put everything together, and it's more of a secret mechanics that you have to acquire. It's just not everybody can go back there and make handmade tortillas. No.
I'm gonna eat this. So fresh. This is creamy, delicious. The flavor is unbelievable. Okay, now in addition to the flan, I think there's one more thing, right?
Absolutely, we have the banana plantains here.
Oh my gosh. Now tell us how this is made.
These are grilled.
Okay.
So it makes them very tender in the inside. And then we have our syrup with our chocolate syrup on top and the coconut flakes that go on top.
Perfect. This is the best I have ever had, and you're right, it tastes different. It's a different kind of cuisine, so get down here. It's right, what's our address here?
767 Deep Valley Drive.
Yes.
City of Rolling Hills Estates, right across from the Chamber of Commerce.
There we go.
I get hungry every time I think about this story, so go down and check it out, and I highly recommend the El Tamal. It will not disappoint. Do you remember these? It wasn't that long ago that we used to buy these things called records. John Clayton takes us to a very interesting store in San Pedro called the Grand Emporium, where spinning vinyl is alive and well.
Do you know what this is? Do you think there's any connection between this, say, and an iPhone or iPad? Or hey, maybe even iTunes. This is an LP, or long playing record. Back in the day, say in the 1960s, when you put this on this, you got a sound that was so incredible and so cool, you really felt that you were in the studio with the musicians. Back in the day, it was a must-have item. Do you have one? I'm very fortunate that my guest on Armchair Traveler today is a gentleman who has tons of these. So come with me and let's talk about the incredible, amazing world of vinyl. We're talking with Chuck Klaus, the curator of the Grand Emporium, I was going to say museum, but whatever, in San Pedro. First of all, we're surrounded by a huge collection of CDs and records and vinyl. Tell our viewers a little bit about vinyl. I mean, is vinyl still popular? And if it is, why is it?
Vinyl is incredibly popular these days, and what's happening is that young people seem to be going back to it as a means of getting closer in touch with music. I think there might be something in the fact that we don't deal with the physical artifact anymore in a lot of ways when we're downloading things, when we're listening to things on computer or iPad. With vinyl, you've got the artifact in front of you, you've got notes, you've got a large representation of the artistic design of the record cover, as well as what many people feel is a warmer source of the music, a more sort of human approach to the art of listening. I'm probably up to about 5,000 or 6,000 records here.
Wait a minute, thousands?
Yeah, 5,000 or 6,000 records and maybe about 4,000 CDs. And we also do books at the Grand Emporium too, so we've got a few thousand of those stashed around and a few hundred autographs and DVDs and laser discs and videotapes. And we're champions of the lost format, I guess.
Before we close out, give us a look into the future of vinyl. I mean, is it here to stay? What do you see as the future of vinyl?
I think in a sense it's kind of like the breakup of so many things into little segments these days. It used to be that we had 3 TV networks and that was it. And then there were hundreds of cable networks. I think once upon a time listening was in a sense sort of monolithic. You listened to LPs, but now you can listen to LPs or CDs or downloads. These things are going to continue to kind of multiply, and people will be able to find their comfort zone, what they enjoy best, what they get the most pleasure from, and to me that's absolutely terrific.
Ah, dear viewer, as you see, I'm lost in the soothing sounds of a wonderful LP. Sounds so mellow, so peaceful, I went into dreamland and had to come to the studio to do this close about vinyl. Do you own any of this magic? Until we meet again, I'm John Clayton with another edition of Armchair Traveler. Thanks so much for watching.
I'm sure we all have a few of those albums floating around the house somewhere. And that will do it for us. From everyone here at RPV TV, make it a great day.